right, everybody, it's Libby with Fearlessness. So what is fearlessness? It's that underlying grit that we have as entrepreneurs that helps us keep forging ahead. Even when hope seems distant, it's the courage to walk through those fires of hell, knowing that we'll come out stronger and better on the other side. Stay tuned and learn how to get fearlessness. I'm your host, Libby, and I have a great guest today, and Jennifer, or Jen, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners, tell them a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in business, and we can get started.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Jen Tangeman. I own a Clean by Design, a residential cleaning company. We've been in business for 15 years. I also own a campground. It's our family business. And we've been in business there since the late 60s. I am a single mother of three. You might see my children here in the background. And yeah, that's me.
That's okay. I have Yaya over on the side, so you could hear her. I love that you own multiple businesses. I think that is super cool. And I think that it's a struggle that until you own multiple businesses, you have no clue what it is. What would you say probably is your biggest struggle owning multiple businesses?
It is a struggle. One is a family business, and working with family has its own set of struggles. And then I think the most challenging thing is the balance and finding the balance between the two, especially when there may be a storm brewing in both areas and choosing which is going to get your attention first. And then, creating a space where you can organize and attend to those issues in a way that's best for everyone.
Awesome. For me, I have multiple, and I found that I have a lot of struggles. One is the amount of the different technology that they both run in. I'm like, oh, there's so much tech, like just CRMs and communication platforms and different email logins. The tech really brought me down. Like, it was one of my biggest struggles, having to keep up with the technology side. But I think for me, then my next struggle was the capacity to switch on and off, to go from like, organize it needs this, and then someone will Slack me about Woot Recruit and they need that. But to like the amount of time it would take me to like change my thought process or go back to my service company, then go back to the software, also weighed me down. And I started to really look at time blocking and saying like, this whole half a day is only for this company, and then the second half a day is for that company, or this whole day is only this company, and then the next day will be the other company. Even if fires were happening, it was like I couldn't task switch. My brain wouldn't let me do it so often. So I had to really compartmentalize my time and then my percentage of time.
It's been really challenging. I mean, it's the lucky part for me is that one of the businesses is seasonal. So I'm able to compartmentalize it that way. But it's always, I've watched year over year that there's a season that is busy for both the cleaning company, like spring, which is also preparation for opening season for the campground. So I am doing a little bit of the time blocking, and a little sad that my weekends may become weekend for one business and weekdays for the other. So that's definitely a challenge.
Absolutely. Right now, I work nights, in the evening for one of the businesses because I don't have enough time during the day. So that's that struggle right now because we're launching a new location, and sometimes you have to put in those extra hours. I said, whoever, that the book, The 4-Hour Work Week, we know that the people that only read the title are the ones that believe it. If you actually read the book, you would know. You would know it's not really that. So out of the two businesses, which would you say, like, could you share a great learning lesson? You can pick either business, your service business or the campgrounds. is there one moment that really stands out as a powerful lesson that you learned since starting them?
Oh, so many powerful lessons. Um, I think the most powerful lesson is to seek a community who can support you, specific to the industry. Before owning the cleaning company and taking over the campground, our family business, I did marketing consulting where I helped small businesses start. And one of the best pieces of advice that I thought I gave those companies is to find someone in their industry and call and ask for help, ask them questions, ask them, to tell you about their journey so far and the things that they've learned. Um, and if it wasn't for the support that I've gotten in the communities I found related to my industry, I'm not quite sure how I could navigate any of it all by myself. So I think the powerful lesson is you're not alone. There are other people out there that are experiencing the same struggles that you are, and they are happy to save you some grace and falling on your face repeatedly by sharing their experiences with you. So I have really grown through the communities that I found related to my industry and the support from those communities.
Absolutely. I would say probably without CBF, I would have struggled tremendously with my cleaning business because I knew nothing about the industry. Nothing. Same thing with my software. I'm in a software group, mentorship, and you can really see the growth of my business when I joined, just double in revenue. So love that advice. I think it's very powerful. I also think that a lot of us, especially when you're just starting out, we may not see the value of investing in ourselves, investing in those groups, because typically some of these groups cost a decent amount of money. But what you're doing is you're propelling yourself forward, and you don't have to figure it out. It's not going to take you 20 years, and you're paying to learn from other people's mistakes. So you get to skip. It's like a game of leapfrog. You can skip over that mistake. And I find it so interesting when I see people on Facebook saying, "Oh, I don't want to pay for that. I'm just going to figure it out myself." It's just
exhausting to figure it out by yourself. And I mean, in my cleaning business, I went 14 years of trying to figure it out on myself, by myself. And I really did think at one point that what else could I learn? How many more times could I fall on my face? And then that moment when you realize there is so much more you don't know. And there are so many things that already exist. You don't have to recreate the wheel. And you can gather that information and that intel by masterminding with other successful business owners, and even masterminding with those that may have a business that isn't at the level of your business. We have so much to learn from each other.
Yes. I love that topic because, again, I feel like we don't see the value in, 14 years is a long time to, try to figure it out yourself. And I think that that's why we end up having such burnout for our business sometimes, is we're trying to figure it out and figure it out and figure it out. And there is a side, it's like the other side of the rainbow that you get to with your business. Because a lot of people ask me, they're like, "Libby, when does it get better? Because it doesn't feel like it. Like, where's the light at the end of the tunnel?" And I really don't think, or you're going to have a hard time finding that light until you're really ready to kind of get serious about learning, masterminding, having an open mind, no matter if you agree or disagree, but just taking that information in is so powerful. And I love that you said, "What else could I learn?" Because let's just talk about cleaning, because I own a cleaning company too. Cleaning is the easiest part of it. The actual cleaning part is the easiest part. And sometimes the smaller business is so focused on the cleaning side. And that's the easiest part. It's like the easiest part. It's all the other things that we don't know how to do, which is the business part.
Right.
That I found so interesting, especially me. That's what I was focused on, is like, how can I make the cleaning better, cleaning better, cleaning better? And that was the least important part of trying to grow and scale.
Yeah.
And that's where all my emphasis was. I was like, oh, my organizing side came out and said, oh, I'm going to make this great manual and this training. And
I want to take a break real quick just to let you know about a new show we've just added to the network. Up Next at Work, hosted by Gene and Kata Keel of the Devon Group. Fantastic show. If you're looking for something that pushes the norm, pushes the boundaries, has some really spirited conversations, Google Up Next at Work, Gene and Kata Keel from the Devon Group.
I had no clue what I was doing.
Right. If only we could go back in time and teach ourselves what really mattered. I was so focused on quality and the results of the clean. And now I'm much more focused on connection with the client, connection with the team.
So that's going to lead me into another question then. What would you tell the younger version of yourself? Like, what advice would you give the younger version of Jen that you know now that you wish you knew when you were like 20? Because we're not going to listen when we're like 15 or 12 or 18, maybe 20, right. 25.
Oh, so much advice. I would advise myself to listen better, listen to my clients, listen to my team, to be humble and supportive, to ask questions, to ask clarifying questions so that I fully understand what the need is of an individual. I have a very strong personality, and I'm thankful for it because I think it got me this far. But if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I'd settle down and find humility. And you're going to learn so much by asking questions and seeking understanding of those that you are collaborating with.
Awesome. I just look at my kids because I have a 25-year-old. They're all fixing all their birthdays are going to fall in the next 3 weeks. So they're 25, 15, and 5. They're all going to be 26, 16, and 6 very soon. But I look at my 25-year-old and my 15-year-old, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish they would listen to me. So that they could then skip all my mistakes. But the 15-year-old he's 15. He doesn't want to listen to anybody. He's a great kid. He's just, 15. But it's been really interesting because my 25-year-old has been seeking out more and more just collaboration with his mom, which I find interesting. So at 25, I see him turning that point of like, maybe my mom does know a little bit about what she's talking about. Mm-hmm. And it's so thankful for that. And if you're a child and listening or a young adult, listen to people that have been through that, because if you could skip my mistakes, you would have what I have right now you could have it at 25 or at 30 instead of I'm in my 40s. I'm like, oh my gosh, if we only knew what we knew, we would be reaching our goals. Because on my phone, it says $100 million CEO. I'm like, I would get there sooner if I would have been more open-minded and patient. I don't know if it's what it is in me, but when I was the younger version of myself, absolutely no patience.
Same.
None.
And I've experienced this with my children. My children are 14 and 21 months apart. So for 51 days of the year, every year, like soon, I will have a 17, 18, and 19-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah. And my 19-year-old hopes to take over the family business, and I hope him to do it sooner than later.
That's great.
I've spent the last 2 years coaching him through the opportunity and how much I wish I had the support that I hope to give to him from my parents, because the road to where I am was much bumpier than the road I'm trying to pave for him. And same concept, I want to spare them from some of the brutal lessons that I learned at their age. But I also approach them in the way I wish someone would have approached me, which is, here's the information. My intention is to share it with you out of love, because I want it to be helpful. And I trust that you'll take the parts of this that, work for you now, that you can apply right away. And then maybe later, the memory of this experience will help guide you through something when I'm not there. And I'm very much low pressure with all of that insight, because I know how I operate is no one's going to tell me anything. I'm going to learn it all the hard way. And so it's exciting to offer that opportunity for them to skip some of the lessons, but I'm also very aware that they may too still go through those lessons, and that's okay. In that event, I tell them, I'm here to support you when you fall. I'm here to pick you up every time, and we'll get through this one way or another.
That's amazing. We do the same thing. We give them the information and they can do with it what they want, but absolutely no pressure. So, talking about being able to do these things for our kids and sharing those moments, as far as business goes, what moment would you say you're the most in business?
In either business or in both?
Either one.
With the family business, I was most proud the first season that I was able to completely take it over and implement the strategies, the software, the things that I had learned through running my own cleaning business, and apply them to our family business. So what I should say is the first year that I was able to retire my parents, and the success of that year, watching the business run successfully, create profit, and afford the operations of the business. For me, that was like getting my trophy. Being able to say this business ran, the revenue covered all the expenses, there was a profit, it created this many jobs, it created entertainment and recreation for this many families. And for me, that was something to celebrate. For my cleaning business, let's see, a moment that I'm most proud of. I think I'm most proud of our transition from being what I thought was a business to becoming an actual business. So, working remotely to having an office, having subcontractors to having employees, and really bringing together the pieces that make the cleaning company a business, more so than just this, winging it type style that I had been operating in for so many years. And so to see how many things we implemented in the period of time that we implemented them, I'm very proud of that. Very
That's
proud
amazing.
of what it's done for my employees. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So, all that being said, what do you find has been the most challenging part? Right, that was the most proud. What's been the most challenging?
I think the most challenging thing is that I am a leader. And so having to be prepared at any moment for anything all the time. That is the most challenging thing. I consider myself strong and resilient, but sometimes it's exhausting. And as I've gone through the last few months' challenges, it has been very challenging for my business the last few months. And as I'm, going through and navigating one problem and solving the next, I just remind myself that I've been there before, And I've also experienced those things that I'm proud of, and those moments that were more relaxing, and those weeks that I could just leave, and things continued to run well without me. And so, um, yeah, that just maintaining the strength to get up and try again every single day, no matter what.
And
Challenge.
so that's kind of where this podcast had spun from. It was my husband who said, that's some sort of you have this fearlessness inside of you that every time you get knocked down, it doesn't matter. You just get up and you do it again and you do it again. And you could be upset because he has seen me go through, like, times when I first started, you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can make payroll, to, oh my gosh, I have to fire an employee, to just that growth over the last, we've been together 12 years. And it's that fearlessness we have inside of us that it's hard to explain to a non-entrepreneur. It's hard to explain to our spouses if they're not an entrepreneur, or our partners, and even to our employees when maybe we have to do things in the best interest of the business. And, I will agree with you. I had a long journey leading up to, for a little while, I called it my work personality and my regular personality, that you had to go in every day to work and smile and ask people how they are. And you can't just blurt out a bunch of demands, because remember I said I wasn't patient. I had no patience, to eventually that personality evolving into who I am now. And I'm patient in the way I take care of my kids, raise them, how we handle employees, to how we handle a crisis. And I think the more and more we go through, for our listeners, like the more and more we go through, and we don't give up and we keep pushing ahead, we're conditioning ourselves to get stronger and stronger and stronger. We can't let it knock us down. Yes, I've cried many times before or gotten mad. But it's just that moment, and you can't let it knock you down. You have to get up and you have to dust yourself off, keep smiling, and keep pushing ahead. Because each time we do that, we build. It's like interval exercising. We're building up the ability to handle more and more pressure, more and more stress, more and more issues, where it doesn't tend to affect us so negatively emotionally. We know how to process it, walk ourselves through the steps and handle it, and it doesn't emotionally wreck us. It's when we're first starting, it's because it's emotionally just wrecking our day or our week or how we're feeling. It's exhausting. But I just want to give you the advice. If you truly want to keep pushing through this as an entrepreneur, that's how you get stronger. It's funny. People asked us, like, how did we get through the hurricane? Like, they watched me because I kind of documented it on Facebook. And then how did we get through COVID? And then how did we get through certain things? And went through Hurricane Irma and then Ian. And it's funny because I take it all back to all of the things I had to go through with all of my past life, like my past relationship. I had an ex-husband who was an alcoholic, who was horrible. After the alcohol got so bad, but all those little things led me up to being able to handle every crisis.
It's funny, you speaking about that brought up for me. I remember, I don't know if it was in the last year or two, but I remember being so excited about what was coming next. And when I say what's coming next, I mean what challenge is coming next. Like, I can't wait to wake up and fall on my face today, because I know I'm going to learn so much from it, and it's going to change the direction of everything else thereafter, that I'm excited to wake up and see what goes wrong today, because this isn't happening to me. This is happening for me. And I'm going to learn from it. And it's going to make me and my business and everything that we do better. And I remember some of my friends looking at me like, she is crazy. She just can't wait for the next thing to go wrong. But I just couldn't wait to learn more. And going back, like to your previous question about what I would tell my old self, I would say, get excited about every single challenge that you are going to endure, because you're going to come out on the other side stronger than ever and more equipped for what you're going to experience, because it's a roller coaster. You're going to have moments where you are at the top and you're able to see these beautiful views, and you're going to have moments where you feel like you'll never get to the top again, but you will, and you'll do it through the lessons and the challenges that you can push through. I'm excited now.
I love that, because I mean, I'm sure you can relate. How many times have we seen or have we heard, even from our employees, oh my God, I hate Mondays. Like, oh, it's Monday. And I had set on a mission that I didn't even want my employees to have that mindset, let alone like other business owner friends or entrepreneurs or even myself. We have to get out of that mindset that's like, oh my God, I don't want to wake up and look at the phone. Like, who called out today? What disaster do I have to deal with? And, essentially it's all the things that we have to learn. We have to go through this. You have to go through it. You can't just be, and I'm not a $100 million CEO yet, but you can't be a $100 million CEO if you've never experienced any of those pains, because I'm not going to learn the lessons I need to build to that. And so it isn't happening to us. It's happening for us. What lessons can we learn? But you have to go through it. And you have to be cut from a different cloth to be okay with it. But you have to go through those call outs, people, messing up stuff, bad quality issues, firing, hiring, promoting. And you have to go through them. Otherwise, you're not building to the entrepreneurial muscle you need to grow to 1 million and beyond. Right? It's like interval exercising. Look at every one of those mistakes, like it's conditioning you to be that millionaire that you want to be.
Yeah. The sprints you ran for the volleyball team.
Yes, absolutely. So I love that you shared this with us. Before we wrap up, because we're approaching 30 minutes, what is next for you? Like, what can our listeners expect? And we'll make sure to put in the notes how they can reach out, contact you, how they can find your businesses. But what's next for you? Do you have anything brewing in the works?
I don't have anything brewing in the works. At one point 10 years ago, I think my goal was 10 businesses by the age of 40. That's what my goal was. Yeah, I wanted to be one heck of a serial entrepreneur. Now that I have 2, I just want to completely set up the one that I plan to pass to my son to be successful and run well for him, coach him, mentor him. And then I hope that in 2 years' time, I can step completely away from the cleaning company, and that will create a space for me to start something new. And I don't have that plan mapped out yet. But whatever I'm doing will hopefully be seasonally in a much warmer place than Michigan.
Oh, yes. I'm sure it's freezing today.
Yeah, it snowed about 3 inches last night.
Okay, because I'm in Georgia today and it's freezing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Awesome. So I want to thank Jen for being a guest on the Fearlessness podcast. And to our listeners, thank you so much for listening. If you want to find more episodes, you can visit libbyd.com or thefearlessness.com. And guys, that's a wrap today into the heart of fearlessness. Remember, every step we take is a move towards our own strength and courage. Keep walking through those fires, because on the other side lies a version of yourself that's unstoppable. I'm Libby, reminding you to embrace your fearlessness. Until next time, stay brave, stay bold, and keep pushing forward.